20 Minutes or Less. I'm Trisha Hirschberger.
And I'm Joe Beretta.
And this is gaming news.
Awesome.
Kotaku editor Stephen Totilo put a hypothesis out there in an article today on what makes a good video game so good.
We all have our video game addictions, likes and dislikes, but Stephen puts out some good theories onto why some games catch on more so than others.
His overriding theory is that good games are all about having to make interesting decisions. Games where the player is told what to do every step of the way or simply goes through the motions are not very engaging to most players. Many current smartphone or super simplistic simulation games are perfect examples of this. I mean, I liked Diner Dash, but every level is essentially a faster version of the tutorial. It's all about speed, not strategy. Or Ace Attorney, absolutely zero choices in that one. And I mean, it's entertaining if there's nothing better to do, but just not my favorite.
Oh, some Ace Attorney fans are gonna rip you up.
I know.
People love that game.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're dead. He goes on to state that Tetris, arguably the best video game of all time, confirms his interesting choice theory. Every single piece that falls presents a ton of choices, where to put it, whether or not to rotate it or speed it up, if you want to make a 4-line Tetris or tackle the line that's right in front of you. These choices are thrown at you over and over in a super fast way, and it basically makes you feel like you are choosing how to play the game.
Now, to really flesh out this theory, other great video game creators are brought into the discussion, like Dylan Cuthbert, who made a ton of awesome games and worked with Argonaut Software and Nintendo and PlayStation.
Dylan talks about Merihari, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Mary what?
Merihari, a Japanese word bringing rhythm, balance, and distribution all together. So an example of no Merihari would be a game with a bunch of bosses, but no levels to help build the tension as you get there.
Steven uses Mario Brothers as a perfect example of Merihari. I love the continual 8-bit NES examples. Good job, Steven. To show that rhythm and balance are there in that you have a great level leading up to each end boss. I mean, what would 1-4 be without 1-1 through 1-3? Seriously, those underwater worlds are no joke.
Yeah, you remember the flying fish? Cheap cheeps! Cheap cheeps!
Cheap, cheap.
And I also love the way he writes about the act of jumping in the Mario games as well. Like, as one of our plumber brothers jumps up, he can discover hidden passageways or break blocks or reveal coins. But as he comes down, he can defeat enemies or not.
But by choosing to jump, he can miss pipelines and POWs below. It's like every time you play the level, it can be completely different.
Yes, and Stephen also consulted Eric Zimmerman, a game designer in New York, who brought up that the goal of the game is also important. He states that in the case of non-educational games, the non-functional goals are all that we have. Some of the lesser awesome games are the games where the developer's goal is to just make money off you, like Wild Ones. I played this one forever. It's one of those Facebook games. It was a rip-off of Worms, but as I got farther and farther into the game, the only way that I could advance is if I gave them more of my money. That's not fun. I want to advance because of my skills and because of gameplay, not because I'm giving you more money.
In reality, different players value different things. Graphics, storylines, characters and relationships, dependence on hand-eye coordination or lack thereof. Some games have awesome storylines, but kind of a lackluster play value. Epic Mickey is one of these for me. The idea behind it is brilliant, but the action is really repetitive and kind of uninteresting.
Oh, you're gonna have some epic Mickey people ripping you apart. You're dead.
I know, I'm sorry.
You're dead.
I'm sorry.
I really like RPGs because it's a good story based around me feeling like the choices that I make lead to the gaming experience. I like the non-linear feeling of it, and I totally agree with Mr. Totilo.
Now, I'm an RPGer too, but let's not leave out the first-person shooters. They can offer lots of interesting choices as well.
So, do you think interesting choices make or break a game for most players? Let us know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, let us know some of your favorite games and why you love them.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click this here annotation or go to SourceFed.com for our 5 daily stories of the day or anything else we've ever done here at SourceFed. I'm Trisha Hirschberger.
I'm Joe Beretta, the Cheap Cheats!